Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Yep. Yeah, certainly does look good to be in this. Oh, hi! Yeah, I guess you might have seen it coming from, of course, the last Thoughts video, but here I am, so yeah. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new Thoughts video for all of you guys. And yes, by the way, you are definitely seeing it right here, looks like for today's Thoughts video, I'm of course in my Ballerina Ruby Rose cosplaying everything. I mean, just, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I need something in context with, of course, the movie I'm going to be talking about here today, and plus, it's not my first time I've actually pretty much doing an entire Thoughts video in costume by far, but hey, I think it makes sense for me to talk about today's movie, and of course, this kind of attire for sure, because I couldn't think of anything else that I would do, but hey, I need something in context with, of course, the movie I'm talking about here today, so yeah, anyways, looks like pretty much of anything, the month of June has officially kicked in for, of course, plenty of new releases that are currently coming out as we speak, and boy, there's gonna be a lot to talk about them for sure, So I definitely need to get myself in, of course, all this for sure, while everything is in high gear for sure, and oh yeah, that reminds me, I think I do know my workplace, Area 51 and the Crow's Nest Online have got their free RPG Fest event that'll be coming up that I'm currently due to be part of, so yeah. But yeah, I think you can kind of get the idea of course, why I'm actually referring to hands down, so yeah, but until then, I figure that for today's Thoughts video, we should definitely talk about one of them that just got released not too long ago that I'm here to officially talk about here today, and, well, I guess give it to, of course, pretty much my Ballerina Ruby Rose cosplay, you name it, pretty much everything from, of course, my wig with the tiara and flower on top to the arm ruffles and the cuffs with the roses to, of course, this lovely ballerina outfit with, of course, the belt and rubies emblem pretty much attached on just for the sake of it. But yeah, everything from, of course, this ballerina outfit with this tutu and everything, and, of course, to top it all off, pretty much, yeah, pretty much the tights and of course, pretty much, if anything, pretty much these, one of my ballet slippers that I'm showcasing. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get them up by far just to showcase all of them. I think it will get you the idea of course, what I'm going to be talking about here today, so yeah. And surprisingly enough, it's not just the subject matter for today's movie, but it's also, believe it or not, pretty much pretty much the latest installment of a movie series that I did talk about one of them a couple of years ago for sure, which surprisingly enough is a well-known pretty much action movie series that's been around for over a decade now, that actually has a well-known actor, Keanu Reeves. Yeah, I think that would get you the idea of course, what I'm going to be talking about here today. But in case you don't, and again, just a little something I need to put on, just in context with, of course, the movie I'm going to be talking about, and of course, since I did mention this cosplay being my Ballerina Ruby Rose cosplay, that first word that I actually mentioned would get you some idea for sure, so yeah, but in case you don't, I think it's about time to hang, we pretty much get our firearms packed, and of course our dancing shoes and everything, as of course we gracefully pirouette over for today's movie that we're talking about here today, which is of course Ballerina, or I guess pretty much if anything, it's also known as, from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. So yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also, surprisingly enough, the latest installment in the movie series that's pretty much been around for over a decade now, spawning about 5 movies now, including this, which is of course John Wick. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so before I can go ahead and talk about this latest movie, yeah, what can I say about the John Wick movies that a lot of people haven't already for sure? I guess it's actually quite obvious that pretty much when you actually mention the John Wick movies in a nutshell, they actually have guarded themselves for being, well, good. So yeah, it is pretty much for the right reasons. From what I can gather, they've got great action, amazing acting, especially from, of course, the main character himself, played by Keanu Reeves, which, surprisingly enough, is, of course, pretty much for the sake of Keanu Reeves, is, of course, his well-known role in recent years by far, and that's saying a whole lot. And let's not forget to mention a pretty engaging story that we can easily follow through, hands down, So yeah, and I guess pretty much if anything, it is actually for pretty much for a good reasons on why the John Wick movies have actually been really great over the past several years for sure, without any sign of course, any of these movies being bad for sure. So yeah. And of course, if you may recall, a couple of years ago, I did talk about one of the films from the John Wick series, that being, of course, Chapter 4, which I absolutely really love, and of course, surprisingly enough, prior to, of course, seeing Chapter 4 on the big screen, I never actually saw any of the other films that came out beforehand, but yeah, regardless, of course, of me going into pretty much these movies completely blind, I still thought Chapter 4 was actually a really great movie, and it still is, yeah, it is still a really great movie by the time I revisited it not too long ago. And before any of you guys ask, yes, I finally got to check out the first 3 films by far, and I really enjoyed all of them for sure. You name it. The first film was actually really good. Chapter 2 was really a massive step up for sure. And of course, Chapter 3, Parabellum, I thought was absolutely amazing for sure. Almost coming close to how great Chapter 4 is for sure. So yeah, I guess it is quite obvious that a lot like everyone else, I really love the John Wick movies for what they are for sure. I think they are really great movies all the way, and I enjoyed every single minute of them for sure. So I guess I'd give it to that mindset alone, and when I first heard about this spin-off movie that's slated to come out, I actually got myself really excited for sure, because, well, aside from the main 4 movies that we got that we actually do follow our main character rather flawlessly for sure, I'm actually interested in seeing some really good side stories that help correspond within the John Wick universe to really help expand it for sure. And based on what I've actually seen in the trailers, I actually got myself interested to see how it will go. So luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in to officially go and see this movie, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as always. And before any of you guys ask, no, I didn't go into them, and of course this outfit for sure though. Though I guess if anything, I wish that I would, maybe I guess if I was at a convention around that time, or of course when ballet season kicks up again, though that would be awesome. But yeah, regardless on that, I did manage to officially go and see this movie regardless. So yeah, and now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, surprisingly enough, yeah, I guess it is quite obvious. This movie is actually pretty nicely done. Yeah, I'm completely serious. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen by far, I really do think this movie is actually pretty good for sure. I mean, I guess if anything, I can't say it's actually as great as the other John Wick movies that came out afterwards. But I definitely do think that this is actually a really good one nonetheless, and I guess for this being a spin-off of course, these movies, I think it did the job pretty well, which actually did result in, well, not a great movie for what it is, but actually a pretty good one that I did have a good time with for sure. So yeah, I guess regardless of course all that, I really do like this movie for what it is, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say of course that front. Alright then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen story-wise, I really do think it's actually pretty nicely done for sure. Again, it's pretty much serving the purpose of course, what it's trying to do outside of the main John Wick movies that we actually got before. But he also throws in some really nice and unique ideas they decide to throw in for sure to actually give us something rather interesting for sure. And I really do think this movie actually handled the story for that quite well for sure. I mean, I guess if anything, it's not necessarily a great one from what I can gather, but I really do follow through on all that hands down, and it is something that I can easily get behind for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie. It may not be the best from what I can gather in comparison to the other films that came beforehand, but I really do like the nice setup on what he has to do, and I think it really did the job quite well for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie. Now, as for the writing, I have to say, yeah, honestly, from what I can gather, I really do think the writing in this film is actually crafted out pretty well for sure. I mean, I guess if anything, it's not necessarily the best script that they actually put together for, of course, this one. In fact, I do think some of them could use a little rewrite here and there to make it all the more fantastic. But those are, of course, my issues that I have with it so far. But I really do like, of course, on the arrests that they have to provide to really make the material actually work quite well for sure. So yeah, and again, maybe I think with a little rewrite here and there to really make it all the more outstanding from what I can gather, I think it could have done the job a whole lot better than what we got in some aspects for sure. So So yeah, maybe I guess some parts of it could use a little rewrite here and there, but the rest I have to say is actually pretty good for what it is, and I really do think they had a really nice setup by far, so yeah, I think it's what I can say for the story and the writing for, of course, this movie. I mean, okay, I really don't think it's actually that great by far, and could use a little reworking here and there for sure. But I really do like on the approach they actually did to actually make this fantastic for sure, and does result in, well, not really perfect from what I can gather, but still a really good story and writing structure that I can easily get behind for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things I need to talk about for sure, which, of course, next up is, of course, the characters, and yeah, I think with, of course, what I've actually seen by far, the characters in, of course, this movie, honestly, I think they are actually really good characters, I'm not gonna lie, for sure, and I really do think they each have their own unique sense of personality that I really do admire all the way for sure. Not to mention they're given such a pretty nice development from what I can gather that actually does make me care for them a whole lot. And not to mention, I do find them quite interesting from what I've actually seen for sure. Like of course, I understand their problems and their flaws that they need to overcome for sure, and how they're going to deal with it themselves from what I can gather. So yeah, stuff like that is actually really nicely done for sure, and I really do think this movie did utilize the characters quite well for sure, and yeah, some of them could have been developed a whole lot better, so that way I can easily get behind them for sure. But I really do like what they did with the characters, hands down, for sure, to really make them likable and interesting for sure, and I think this movie did a fine job in doing exactly that, so yeah, and of course the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I really do think they pulled off some really good performances in my opinion for sure. Honestly, I think pretty much, if anything, it's not great acting by far, in fact, nowhere near Oscar levels of great acting for sure, but I really do think it's actually pretty good nonetheless, and I think pretty much, if anything, pretty much their investment in their performances from what I can gather while trying to work around the material that's actually been given to them for sure, that's something I can actually really get behind, and yeah, some of them I do think are actually putting in some really good amount of effort from what I can gather, while some of the others, they're trying their best from what I've actually seen. But yeah, either way, I really do like what they did for the characters for sure, and of course the actors who play all these characters. Honestly, I think they did a pretty good job with some pretty good acting. Again, not great from what I can gather in comparison to the other films, and that had great acting for sure. But I do think it's actually still good, and of course this one, and I really do admire their performances from what I've actually seen, so yeah, it's pretty much what I can say for those two in a nutshell, so yeah. Alright. Alrighty then, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot for sure. I guess for starters is, of course, pretty much of anything, the production design from what I can gather is actually very creative from what I can gather for sure. I think with, of course, what I'm actually seeing, everything from, of course, the sets they utilize to the really nice, huge, nice usage of lighting from what I can gather, and even the color playing for of course what I'm actually seeing is actually pretty nicely done for sure, and yeah, I think pretty much from what I've actually seen, I really do think the film's production design really is very creative for sure, and it really does help matching, of course, the tone and the style of course, the other films from what I can gather, and that's another thing, too, I really do love for the fact that, for the film's tone and style from what I can gather. Again, it's pretty much taking on, of course, on what pretty much the other films actually did, but utilizing it in a very creative way to help tell another story in that universe, and I really do think they did an incredible job from what I can gather for sure, like, pretty much, whenever I actually see the tone of this movie play out, I knew exactly what it's actually trying to do, hands down. Just trying to do something new and creative, but also stay fresh and relevant to, of course, the other films that came out beforehand, for sure. And I really do think this movie did an incredible job with, of course, all that, hands down. Like, of course, whenever something pretty much action-packed actually starts to kick off for sure. It knows how to do exactly that for sure, and whenever whenever a conversation has to be made with, of course, any of the characters, it would do that as well. And I really do think the tone and the style mixed in with the production design of course, this movie really does help balance things out in a really clever way. Like, of course, one of my favorites actually is, of course, pretty much is a nice little callback to, of course, what the showcasing, of course, Chapter 3, Parabellum, which they actually did showcasing, of course, this movie with, of course, our main character doing some nice ballet dancing with, of course, a really nice spotlight overhead for sure, and that actually is actually pretty creative, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much it's taking, of course, what one of the films actually did, but also utilizing to help establish one of the characters for sure. And I really do like it on how will they actually do that. That's how great they actually did with the production design and the tone of the style from what I can gather for sure. And of course, pretty much if anything, of course I would do the same thing our main character did if a spotlight is shown directly above me for sure, while I'm, of course, in this ballerina outfit for sure, so yeah. But I'm sure that will come up later on if I do another do a performance, and of course this in this attire for sure. Actually, I think I should really think about that if I enter this cosplay at my next convention for another cosplay contest. But hey, I'm sure I'll figure it out later on down the road. But anyways, yeah, I'm going off topic. Back to what I'm talking about with this movie. So, all right. So yeah. So I've covered the production design and the tone and the style. So what could possibly be next for sure? Oh, I know. Seeing of how the John Wick movies are, of course, well known for some really great action and fight scenes for sure. I think we should definitely talk about the action and the fighting next. And yeah, I think from what I've actually seen, the action in, of course, this movie is really nicely done, I'm not gonna lie. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen by far with every single fight scene from what I've actually seen, it really is planned out very well, I'm not gonna lie. And I do think it's actually choreographed quite well for sure. So I think with every punching, kicking stuff, to, of course, pretty much the nice mix martial arts type of style of fighting for sure. It's actually pretty nicely done. And let's not forget to mention, yeah, some of the other fights as well, with, of course, pretty much people shooting with their guns, pretty much swinging at their knives and their axes and stuff, and their machetes, just to name a few from what I can gather. I really do feel the massive impact with, of course, each and every single fight scene from what I can gather, and it really does help utilize the action in, of course, this movie quite well from what I can gather. So yeah, I think they are really putting a lot of hard-working effort in, of course, the action, and of course, all the other films for sure, and they really did utilize that quite well in, of course, this movie from what I can gather. Even some nice visual work, even some nice work done with the visuals, I'm not gonna lie, is also very nicely done for sure, and it really does help blending everything that goes on throughout the course of this movie for sure to really make it all the more exciting to watch. And I think they did very nicely, they did a very nice job on, of course, that front. So yeah. And of course, as for the other side, I should mention, well, I guess for the direction of this film from the film's director, honestly, it's not great by all means, but I do think it's actually pretty good nonetheless. I mean, I could tell there's, of course, a bit of effort being put into, of course, this one, and for a while, I think pretty much the director has done a lot of weak work in the past, but there are some that did stood the sand of time by far. That you can tell there's a whole lot of effort being put into it. So I think pretty much for the sake of this movie, I think the direction for of course this movie would probably follow on the latter category, hands down. Yeah, like I said, I can't say it's actually great for what it is, but I do think it's actually pretty good nonetheless. So yeah. And of course, the cinematography in this film is absolutely outstanding from what I can gather, with, of course, some really great camera shots they actually provide for sure, to which I do find it to be absolutely incredible for sure, and I really love on the way this movie is actually shot pretty well for sure. So yeah, and of course the editing, I have to say, is of course is very nicely done for sure. I think with, of course, each and every single cut that actually happens during each scene that plays out, I really do think there is a lot of effort being put into, of course, this one, and I love on what they actually did for sure. So yeah, and not to mention it actually does help match with the film's pacing, I'm not gonna lie, to which I do think it's actually flowed out pretty well for sure. So whenever something action-packed would actually play out, it would do exactly that. But it also does know how to slow things down to help establish the characters for sure. And I really do like it when pacing in movies would actually do that for sure. So yeah, I think it's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. And I know that's saying a whole lot because for this movie being called From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, I think it pretty much makes sense for me to do it while dressed as a ballerina. So, but yeah, you kind of get the idea from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, overall, From the World of John Wick, Ballerina, I do think is actually a pretty good one that we actually got for sure. And yeah, I can't necessarily say it's actually as great as the other films for sure. But I do think it's actually a pretty solid movie from what I can gather for sure, and for it to be pretty much a nice little background story that actually plays out in contrast to, of course, the mainline John Wick movies that played out for pretty well. I do think this movie really did the job well, and of course just pretty much serving as a nice little background story to a well-known movie series that has, of course, been around for a long time, and And yeah, I really do think this movie did a fine job for what it is, so yeah. Like I said, I do think pretty much some parts of it I could have used a little reworking here and there to make it all the more fantastic. But the rest, I have to say, is actually pretty nicely done for sure. And again, it's still retaining on the themes and ideas the previous John Wick movies actually provide for sure, but also bring in something new and relevant at the same time. While, of course, for the sake of this movie, actually tell a different story that's on the side that's never been explored in, of course, any of the other films for sure. And I think this movie actually really did an impressive job in doing exactly that for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is, I actually, regardless of course, a few minor criticisms I actually do have with, of course, this one, I really do think it's actually a pretty good one that I can definitely say from the bottom of my heart that I'm glad I actually saw it. It's not a masterpiece for what it is, but I really do think they did a pretty nice job from what I can gather for sure. And it actually, and I think pretty much of anything, it did give me a pretty good time nonetheless. And that's pretty much what I actually got. So yeah. I guess if anything, I do think this movie is well worth the recommendation, of course, on my part for sure. Yeah, like I said, maybe I think some parts of it I do think could have worked a whole lot better from what I could gather. But the rest I have to say is actually pretty nicely done for sure. And I really love what they actually did to really make this movie fun to watch for sure. And again, it pretty much results in not really a great film for what it is, but a pretty good one that I'm glad I actually saw. So yeah. So yeah, and I guess if that's something up your alley for sure, then this movie is actually well worth a couple of hours of your time for sure. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's not a masterpiece for what it is, but I really do think they did a good job with, of course, this one, and actually gave me something that I really do love and admire for sure, and I'm okay with that for sure. So yeah. Needless to say, regardless of course, what I have to say, I really do like this movie for what it is. It's not great from what I can gather, but I really do think this is actually a good one that is definitely worth checking out. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So for my final score, yeah, I'm gonna be fair on this one, and I'll give this movie a 7.5 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't necessarily say it's a great movie from what I can gather, but I really do think it's actually a pretty good one that gave me a good enough time for sure, and that's exactly what this movie actually gave to me for sure. As a movie on its own, it's pretty much just a pretty nice and pretty good action thriller movie that you would normally get from what I can gather. But of course, for it being a spin-off to John Wick in a nutshell, I think it did the job quite well for sure. So yeah, still a pretty good movie on its own, but also pretty nicely done for a spin-off to the John Wick movies as a whole. So if that's something you're actually looking into, then by all means, I say this is definitely well worth checking out for sure. So yeah, if you are looking for a John Wick movie that may not be as great as the previous films, but actually can deliver a pretty good side story in addition to the mainline series that we could normally get, then, well, I guess all I can say is pretty much load up your gun and, of course, pack up your dancing shoes to actually see this movie for yourself. Trust me when I say, for while it's not necessarily perfect for what it is certainly one movie that may not be great, but it's still certainly, well, I guess for the sake of pretty much for a nice ballet pun, it is still certainly on point for sure. So yeah. I guess it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front, ballet punning everything, so yeah. Sorry. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video. Well, ballet edition and everything. And yeah, regardless of course, me being this outfit, I still want to ask, what do you guys think from the world of John Wick Ballerina, if you've actually seen this one for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it's actually pretty much a pretty good one that may not be as great as the other John Wick films, but still a good watch nonetheless? Or do you absolutely hate it and think it strays far away from the other films by far, and of course, all 4 John Wick films are much better to watch as a whole, and we don't need any more movies to tie in with that said series, but I digress. Or are you somewhere in between where you think the movie is just for what it is? So yeah, let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I would love to know what you guys think. Just as long as, of course, well, you never actually came into, of course, your local movie theater, and of course, this attire for sure. Though I guess pretty much of anything, maybe I think it would have been a good thing, because we would have been hot and sweaty from, of course, pretty much us being, of course, in these outfits out in the 80 to 90 degree hot summer weather for sure. But again, I digress. Though again, if this one came out around the time ballet season was in high gear, I think it would have been a really good release time to put this movie out. I know I would, if of course I actually finish wrapping up a convention and I'm still in this attire for sure. But hey, I'm glad we got this movie now, regardless. But yeah, once again, I digress. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and trust me, hopefully for the next one, I won't be in this attire all the way for sure. Again, I just need to strap on my Ballerina Ruby Rose cosplay, just in context with, of course, this movie that I just talked about for sure. So don't worry about a thing. I'll be back in my normal clothes, and of course, the next one that I'll actually do for sure. So yeah, that's my guarantee in a nutshell for sure. But I'm really excited for what June will have to provide from what I can gather now that we're almost halfway through this year for sure. So I'll be really excited to see what we'll be talking about for sure in the next thoughts video. So yeah, but until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and well, now if you excuse me right up until the next thoughts video, I seriously need to get myself out for a nice little, well, actually rehearse a nice ballet performance for this attire for sure. I seriously hope I can actually bring something creative with, of course, my Ballerina Ruby Rose cosplay, so I'm sure I'll think of something. But yeah, in the meantime, I think I might as well rehearse my ballet dancing and, of course, this outfit for sure. So I'll definitely see you guys in the next thoughts video. Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's not like for the next thoughts video, I would actually talk about the latest movie from DreamWorks that makes it look like they're now infected with the Disney live-action remake virus. Oh, darn it!
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427’s to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427’s Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, Ackleyattack4427’s@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.